welcome back to 7 Days to Die. This is Mizer, and thank you so much for taking the time to hang out with me today. I've already got a fresh cup of coffee here waiting for me. Hopefully, you've had a chance to grab a fresh cup for yourself, or if you're feeling like it, a soda, or maybe even something harder, whatever you're into. Now, today is going to be a little bit of a change of pace. Today, we're doing a apocalypse home makeover. When I woke everything up on the previous episode, there was quite a bit of damage done to the house. This bookshelf here was broken out, as well as this window. Now, I've already thrown in frames and upgraded them. Luckily, there is a paint texture that looks exactly like the existing glass that's already up there. And so I was able to go ahead and make that into a matching window again, even though I'm pretty far away from being able to make actual glass myself. I did do a paint all option on that paintbrush tool so that the inside and outside of those frames all look the same. So on the outside of the house, it's going to look like a window as well instead of just like a boarded up window. Breaking out this glass, we're going to have an open concept with a small viewing area here pointed directly at that new open shower. Next is going to be the bookshelf. Now, one of my pet peeves, I love building in this game. The building in this game is probably, I think it's my favorite. I have to say it's my favorite. There's so many options and it's so customizable. It's insane the possibilities that a person can have building their base, their home, whatever you've got going on. The fact that I can build a cement mixer, a bed, I can make bullets, I can make explosives, I can make electricity, but I can't put 7 pieces of wood together to build a bookshelf. Like, give me a bookshelf. Let me build a bookshelf. I just want to build a nice bookshelf. I want my damn bookshelves to look pretty. Um, that's the only like really big gripe that I've got. I wish we had access to the dev items just on the regular, not all of them, but stuff like bookshelves, dressers, stoves. I would love to have access to appliances. And I only just realized that I set that wooden frame down and I did not upgrade it, which is a big no-no. God knows I'm going to drop something exactly on that spot, try to pick it up, and wind up dropping myself through the floor. Probably going to be 6 zombies underneath me waiting to eat me. Normally I wouldn't complain, but not into zombies like that. The window here, if I had had an option, I would have preferred to keep the window that was in there, but it looked like crap. And even though I don't have the ability to make glass right now, I will hopefully soon. And so I threw up more wood blocks just for now. I didn't even bother upgrading them, just threw them up so that they could hold the place for what I intend to put up and painted them over so that they look kind of like glass. It's at the best a temporary solution. At the worst, it's going to be not much of a barrier between me and whatever's going to try to come through that window. But I'm not really worried about stuff trying to come in through that window if I'm honest. It's second floor. The birds are kind of stupid. Like the likelihood of a bird actually trying to come through an open window instead of like burrow in through the roof is pretty low. I'm not too worried about it. I really like the painting system in this game. The only problem is that the roller brush tool, even though it should only roll areas that are similar, it kind of just rolled whatever it wanted to. And it might be user error. I'm not gonna lie and say I'm perfect. I'm far from, but it was kind of frustrating. You'll see, I wound up wasting so much paint fixing the little screw ups I had because the paint just plopped everywhere. The wainscoting along the side, there was probably 7 or 8. pieces that needed to be filled in. Half of them were behind furniture items, so it was hard to get to, but every time I walked by it, I could still see it. Now, I went through the house pretty thoroughly and just double checked to see what was going on, what needed to be fixed, what needed to be upgraded or repaired. This door was a big one for me. I didn't like the door actually being there. I think two doors in any bathroom besides a Jack and Jill is craziness to me. I lived in a house with two adults and three siblings for a total of six people in a one bathroom house. The number of times that I got walked in on when I was either in the shower or doing what girls do in the bathroom, which is makeup or something, was ridiculous. And that was just people. I do not want this dude to come meandering in while I'm on my porcelain throne worshiping the TikTok gods, you know? I don't want to have to worry about watching my Cage 848 video and having to worry about this dude come looking over my shoulder. I don't need that stress in my life. Luckily, after that taint shot, he is not getting back up, so I don't have to worry about this guy in particular, but still. Um, paint goes really fast. Mostly because I screw up a lot, but regardless, I had to go hunt more murky water. And this house had, I think, 11 jars of water, or 11 jars that I eventually made into water. It was enough to tide me over to the end of this build, but I finished off with one paint left. Just one. If I had gotten any less, I would have had to go back out again for more water. It goes so fast. Um, one of the things that really gets me, oh, look at this guy falling from the ceiling. If that's not the definition of it's raining men, I don't know what is. Look at him chase me. I'm irresistible. One of the things that really baffles me about myself is I went through this entire thing with almost a completely full inventory on me. There's so many places in that house that I could have dropped those items off at and not had to worry about them. I would have had plenty of room to loot all of this stuff. Look at me here, I'm debating. Only 3 coffees. Should I throw it out? Nope, I'd rather leave. Leave the cement. I don't need it. I'd rather have these 3 coffees than the cement. But it drives me crazy that I didn't empty out that inventory. I ran around with all of that stuffed into my knapsack. Now, this little bar area, not only is it super cute, I might actually try to create something like this for myself at some point, just because I love a good bar area. But it also had a crap ton of glass jars and just drinkable items. This is the area where I was literally just drinking stuff to make stackable jars so that I wouldn't have to leave them behind. This is me kicking myself post haste. I cannot believe I just walked around with that much stuff. I think in the end, I wound up making something like 1,000 paints, maybe 1,200, including the jars that I had at the beginning. Um, I also have this really cute creek that is right next to my base. It makes it super handy for running out and grabbing bits of water. I'm never going to have to worry about um, dehydration as long as I can keep jars in my house. I do eventually want to change out the doors on this house that don't open because it drives me crazy only having one entryway into a place. And this one here, I am also able to open up the garage door, but the amount of time that it takes for the garage door to open is a little bit uncomfortable as opposed to how quick the door can open and shut. So I don't really like the idea of having that there. I want to change them out. The paint, there I am. I'm too impatient to just wait for stuff. Get that paint set. It's really very, very easy to make paint. I had no idea when I first started this game how easy it was. Here's the last bit of wainscoting that I had to go in and correct. Everything else, I think, by this point had been fixed from my earlier screw up. One of the things that I really enjoy is making sure that all of the windowsills in the house are the same color. A lot of the times when I go through, I will paint them white. It's not actually white, it is a fabric color that is on the second page, second to last row, I believe, close to the center. And if you are very, very close to it, you can tell it's a cloth texture. But if you are any type of distance away or not looking directly at it, you can't tell. It just looks like a nice, clean paint. And one of the things that really, really irritates me about this game, and I'm sure there are lots, there's a ton of stuff that can be improved, of course, all the time. Um, but one of the things that really irritates me is I'm taking the time to make paint, and then the items that I'm painting are looking just as shitty as if I didn't paint at all. Like, why am I taking the time to make a paint to paint over something to have it look shitty? I want it to look nice. So that's the one issue I have. I think maybe at some point I should try a little bit harder to find a mod that has different paint textures. I would really love to find something with more clean cut, just straight one color. I don't even need anything fancy, just paint. Nice, clean paint. It's one of the reasons why this TV black is one of my favorite colors because again, it is a clean black. It doesn't look tarnished or deteriorating or just nasty. It's clean and I love it. Um, I go throughout the entire house painting all of those little, are those balances? I don't know what those little blind things are called, but I paint them all black so that they're all matching. And then I paint the windowsills the same color as the inside of the house. I'm sure that they were left that color or even painted that color on purpose, but I don't love it. I want it to match what we've already got, or I want it to contrast heavily. This, like, just a few tones different, like a different shade of wood, does not cut it for me. I do not like it. Here's me just running through and checking to see what all is left here that needs to be painted. The wall is fixed very easily. I love that I love that dropper tool. It's so easy to use and everything looks so nice. The dropper tool, and then there's a copy block tool that I'm in love with as well. It's the best thing since sliced bread. This is the paint here. It's fabric blinds, second row towards the middle, second from the bottom. And we're just going to do a paint fill and look at that. Up close, you can tell it's cloth, but far away, look at that. Clean, beautiful. That's a nice bathroom. I would be proud to have somebody come in and piss in that toilet. um, since I had already broken down the other blinds, I decided to keep everything cohesive throughout the house and just take all of them down. Um, Here's another issue with that paint tool. When I am doing the second windowsill here, the entire side of the wall is painted wood. I don't, I mean, I suppose I kind of understand why, but oh man, it's frustrating. This side right here, I go outside and I stand there for a second or two going, Jesus, what do I do? It doesn't look bad now that I'm looking back on it. It looks pretty nice. Maybe I'll come out and wind up repainting it. I think it looks really classy with the wood, and it kind of matches the gazebo, which I like as well. You know, I also didn't think about trying to rub off the paint and seeing what's underneath it. If it had been the same blocks, I might not have needed to repaint it, which would have saved me a little bit of time because that was a good amount of paint. So at this point, almost the entirety of the inner house has been completed. There is a couple of spots that I noticed needed to be fixed. I need to go in and upgrade that one block in front of the window. And then when I was looking for the secret door, I actually busted out a shelving unit just to see if there was anything maybe hidden behind it. Um, Spoiler alert, it was on the side of the house the entire time. I was watching back on the first video I did where I ran past this house, and I don't know how I missed it. I do know how I missed it. I don't pay attention to stuff. It was right there the entire time. I'm listening intently for these locks. I'm running through the house trying to get every single lock to unlock. Literally the entire time it was right there under my nose. If it was a poisonous snake, I would be dead right now. This is, I don't want to say the shining crown of my home makeover, but I did a lot of work on this attic. It was it was pretty gross up here. Just the ambiance itself was really crowded, really drab with the faded, nasty looking wood. Um, I eventually come in and it took me probably 20 minutes alone just to knock out that shelf because each piece was 1,000 hit points, and there was 5 blocks, and then there were eight little poles, and I had to break each one of them out. I couldn't break out the bottom ones and have the top ones fall. I had to spend time knocking out each individual block. I'm looking around trying to decide what I want to do. I wasn't sure exactly what my vision was going to be for this area. I did know that with the way that it was, there wasn't a ton of area in that backspace to put anything. I decided to place these blocks here just to see what it would feel like when I had all of my workbenches and mixers and stuff set up along those sides, which is how I intend to do it. The workbenches and stuff will be up along the wall. And looking back at it, it looks so claustrophobic. I'm very, very glad I wound up doing it like I did, which is to knock out the triangular wood pieces that are right behind the top blocks here. All of them were knocked out, and it created this nice little cubby hole. I decided to really quickly run outside and see what I had to work with as far as the roof was concerned, making possible adjustments to the inside of that upper area in the garage. I saw pretty quickly that I wasn't going to have a lot of room to make adjustments, so I went back inside. Halfway up the stairs, I got sidetracked and decided to start knocking those blocks out, which is it's pretty important. You don't want something crawling or shambling up those steps and surprising you when you're in the middle of something upstairs. So I'm glad I actually did it. Knowing me, I would have forgotten, and then who knows where I would be. But we knocked them all out pretty quickly, and I decided to put a ladder up into the loft area. It was actually going to wind up freeing up a lot of space in the little alcove up into the right where we no longer needed that huge open area since we don't have the steps anymore. So I threw down some ladders and left the bottom two blocks open so that zombies didn't see it as a path to me. Nothing worse than turning around and seeing a zombie like walking up those steps. It it literally causes my insides to shake. Not in like terror, but like nervousness. I'm probably not the best type of person to play this game. I get nervous very quickly and very easily, but it is panic inducing. I knocked all these blocks out. It was not as quick as it appears here. Here, Hurricane Mizer is just blowing through all these blocks. Um, if I could chop this fast, the zombies would have no chance against me. I wouldn't even need any other type of weapon. I would just mow down anything in front of me, clear out my town of zombies, and then run around fixing up every house and build a empire. Grab the blocks up off the floor since I'm no longer going to need the visual for the workbenches and stuff that are going to be going there. And I'm just going to go ahead and clear out the rest of this line. Again, at the bottom of this row, this is where we're really going to open it up. I really loved how the loft area turned out. I'm going to have so much room for items in this loft area. I was going to originally have most of my storage be upstairs in the apartment area above the house, but I think I'll actually be able to put a good amount of storage down here. Um, at the very least, I'll put in the building mats box as well as maybe the basic mats box so that everything that I need to craft is going to be right in the same area where the crafting itself is going to be going down. Um, I'm actually really excited to start filling in the items in this area, which is why next episode we are going straight for the forge. I've already got it in my mind. I've got the plan. It's going to happen. So putting up this blockage here, this railing here to block the area, it was simple. Just copy the block. I didn't even need to copy rotation or mess with rotation. This little gap between the two open ends of the rails drove me nuts. I don't know why the two rails butting up like that against each other bothers me, but it does so much. I originally tried a half pole and then eventually wound up going for a pillar that was zero point 0.5 in diameter. Um, I almost wish I had just stuck with it and tried to find a square item to stick in that area so that it had a nice corner. But I think it looks really good the way that it is. Yeah, it's rounded and it's a little bit weird, but overall, I'm not mad at it. I think it gives it a little bit of character. So at this point, we are pretty much done with all of the actual upgrades that are going to go down. The only thing that's left is painting and making everything look pretty. Again, it was very drab, very almost depressing up in this area with just how run down, torn, and gross it looked. But a couple of buckets of paint and everything looked absolutely gorgeous after it was done. I was really proud of how it turned out. I think it's really cute, and I'm really looking forward to utilizing the space. Now, at this point is where we're going to call it. I had a ton of fun actually getting everything set up, and I'm really excited to get into this space and really make it mine. I do want to take a few seconds to thank everybody who has taken the time to leave comments, to watch my videos, to hit that thumbs up. Thank you so much. I appreciate every single one of you. I can't tell you how much I appreciate the time that you take out of your day to spend with me. I also want to take a second to thank Cage848, Autumn or AngelsCurse, as well as Master Roji and A03. You guys have given me so many things to think about and so much assistance when it comes to just the technical side of things. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate you. You guys are absolutely amazing. I'm going to go ahead and leave you here. We'll catch you next time when we go and grab that forge and maybe the workbench. Until next episode, bye.